This is Gemara Sanhedrin Daf Nun Zayin, and we are holding on the bottom of Nun Vavim Beis, 3 lines from the bottom, and we like all the learning to be an incredible schos. Rafua Shalema for Tinok, Miriam Ahuva Besoich Sha'ar Chayla Yisrael. We're holding 3 lines from the bottom. The end of the line, Tana Dvei Menashe. I darish vayitzav afilu hanach nami. And he lo darish vayitzav hani min alei. Says the Gemara, continuing the discussion on the Shivas Mitzvahs B'nei Noyach, and asked the Gemara, Kashan Danvei Menashe, that if they darshin the vayitzav, the commandment, and that's where they learned the Shivas Mitzvahs B'nei Noyach, then it should even include the other ones. What's the other ones? That's what the Tanakama said, which were dinim, civil laws, and megadif. And Eloi Darish, then how does he know all of the stam mikar for the Shiva Mitzvahs B'nei Noyach? Answers the Gemara, Lo'ilam Loi Darish Vayitzaf. Hani kol chada v'chada ba'binav she'iksiva. These, all 7 of the Shivas Mitzvahs B'nei Noyach are learned out and written individually elsewhere. So says the Gemara, let's find the Mekairis. Avodah Zaro Gili Arayis. As we turn over to Nun Zayin Amud Aleph, says the Gemara, D'chsivet Tishrachis Haaretz. Says the pasuk Lefnei Halokim, and the Aretz was destroyed. In front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'tanat Rabbi Yishmael, and Rabbi Yishmael taught, explaining this pasuk and the second line of the Zayin Amud Aleph, B'chol makom shenemar hashchasa. Any time the Torah uses the term hashchasa, corruption, what does this refer to? Einoi elo dvar erva. This is an erva matter. Vakum dvar erva. And similarly, Avodah Zarah is considered a dvar erva, says the Gemara, shenemar, in the first one line, ki yishlus kol basar es darakoi. That what did they do? They were shachas, they were corrupting all flesh its way. And that's point number 1. That's where we see Gili Arayis is something that crosses into all denominations. Even Goyim are included in the halachas of Gili Arayis. Number 2, Akom avodas chavim is what say pentash chison va'asisem. Perhaps you will corrupt, and you're going to make. From here we see, and again, these psukim are written by the people of the Mabul, the Bnei Mabul, and therefore we see that these are unanimously binding to not only Yidden, but Goyim as well. Says the Gemara, V'idach, and the other 5 are chayud kamagli, Says the Gemara, the pasuk reveals that they were included in the reasons why the people of the Dar Hamabel were destroyed. And Ve'edach, what does the other Man Amar do? The Man Amar that already knew these. So why does the Torah speak about Shashchasa by the Zar and Gili Arayis? Says the Gemara, Chayil Gali, that is showing us the storyline, what happened by the Mabel. Shvichas damim, says Gemara, D'chsev shevich dam ha'adam v'goymer. And again, in each interval, we're going to go back and we're going to say, so what does Tanav Menashe learn out? Says the Gemara, V'idach katlayu, who to come Megalia, just revealing the type of death that they had. Gezel, D'chsev ki yarik isav nasati lachem es kol haaretz, etc. V'amar Rav Levi ki yarik isav lo ki yarik gina. Only like the yarek of an isav of vegetation was allowed to the Bnei Noyach, and not the yarekina of garden vegetation. Ve'edach, who l'mishrei basu das is coming to remit meat. Ever min achai, t'chsev ach basar b'nafshei dama lo yiseichelu. Ve'edach, aho l'mishrei shiratzim hu dasa, comes to the creepy crawly creatures. Siros, the din of castration, like we saw, sterilization. Says the Gemara, t'chsev v'shartzu haaretz, V'ravuba, v'edach, what does the other man Damra hold? Lebracha ba'alma, kalayim, d'chsev me'oiv l'mineu, v'edach, hulitzavasa ba'alma. From there we learn out, from me'oiv l'mineu we learn out, companionship, not that it's also to Kilayim, but that animals were together. Rav Yosef Amri Beirav Al Shalosh Mitzvos Bnei Noach Ne'erag, says Rav Yosef and Mim Beirav, for 3 transgressions of the Bnei Noach. What is the halacha? Ne'erag, one is killed. So says the Gemara, Kesher Simin, and again, this is just a simin to remember what are these Bnei Noach halachas that requires them the death penalty. Says the Gemara, Al Gili Yaraiz Al Sheikhul Tam Al Birchas Hashem. Those 3. So mask if La Rav Sheishes Vish Al Sheikhul Tam I understand the same Sheikhul Tam Al Megaim Elahanach. The other 2 Yaraiz in Birchas Hashem. We already know that from Inami Ikam Sheikhul Tamim. Every time Rav Sheikhul Tam I feel Kulanami. She's on everything. Imisham Disrabai, may ish avodas kavim nami Yisrabai, then avodah zara should also be included. And why just these 3? And the avodah zara nami Yisrabai, may ish elam Rav Sheshes. You know we learn now from Amri Beirav, says Rav Sheshes name of Beirav. Al arba mises ben noyach nerag, ve'al avodas chavim ben noyach nerag. So concludes the Gemara. Val dal and misa val. Excuse me. Asks the Gemara, that was a kasha, excuse me. Al Davois Chavim Ben Noach is Nerag. V'atanya, we learned in a brayso. We're in the middle of the wide lines. Anun Zayin, but out the first line is Bavoida. Says the Gemara, Davois Chavim with regard to an idols. Devarim Shebezin Sheisam Mamisin Aleihem. Things that a regular Yid, a Yiddish Bezdin, would execute. Ben Noach is Muzar Aleim, is warned. As Harein Misalai, says the Gemara, we see that they're not killed. Ben Noach is only warned. Amr Nachra Yitzchak Asar Shalahen. Zuhi Misas, and says the Gemara, a pasuk that talks about their Azhara, that talks about their warning that is equivalent to a form of killing. Continues the Gemara, we have a machlokes about what the Shus is saying. Ravunu Rav Yehuda Kulu Talmidei Rav Amri Al Sheva Mitzvos Ben Noach Nerag Kol Rachmana Bechado. Torah taught us punishment one of them. What in the Kulu? Val Gezel Ben Noach Nerag. Says more, is that true? Vatani we learned in the Brayso Al Gezel Gana V'Gazel V'chein Yivas Torah V'chein Kiyetz Behen. Says the Gemara, what do we see in the Brayso? Gezel V'gana v'gazel v'chini v'astar v'chini g'yitz v'hem kusi Yisrael. That is aser v'Yisrael b'kusi. That is going to be mutter. So what's the kasha? Articulates the Gemara. V'misa nisni chayiv. Then it should have written chayiv. If it's true that for any of the shivas it's an enach, he could potentially get killed. So then even for Geneva should have been listed. Answers the Gemara. We should think about misni. Seifa. I want to read the end. Yisrael b'kusi mutter. Tani Reisha aser v'kol. So it's kept it parallel. Ask the Gemara. V'kol echad isle chiyuva masni katani hakdikatani Reisha. Says I don't understand. Kol echad isle chiyuva. One of the songs going to get punished. Misnaya Katani. It says it explicitly in the Mishnah. Katani Reisha Shichus Damim Kuzi Yisrael Chayiv Yisrael Kuzi Bater. So how can you tell me what you're telling me? Answer the Gemara. Hasam Echi Listni. How should it say? Listni Aser Umater. Say both. Vatane Kuzi V'Rayvim Adaka Loy Ma'ilin Loy Ma'irin Ketzba Begezel Mahi Amravach V'Yakov L'Nitzcha Ella L'Poyel Bekerem, to worker in the vineyard. Says the Gemara, Payel B'Karen. I don't understand Imas. How is that? Even Shas Gemara Blach, the work is finished. Heteru. Then the halacha is it's mutter to eat the grapes. V'lav Shas Gemara Malacha Gezel Malyu. You know, eat them. It's mamish k'zeila. Says the Gemara. So what is going on over here? Answers the Gemara. Ella Amar Ababa says there Ababa loy nitzcha Ella. Lepachais mishave pruta, the classical Geneva of a Maisa Sedaim, as everyone knows, is to steal less than the Chiyuv, is to steal Pachais mishave pruta. Ask the Gemara, Yachi, if that is true, Kusi be Israel should be Aser. And says Gemara bar Mechilahu. Nay, says Gemara the Basar Achi Machalei. Sari Vishaite Mi Leslie says Gemara going to be Michael afterwards. But what about the tsar that the person has at the time of the robbery that they can't necessarily give back? Says Gemara, let's say Kusi Bekusi. Do we not have a case of Kusi Bekusi? Kivan. What? Kivan Lavani Mechilin into a Kusi can be Michael Gezam Al Yehu, and he has to return even a small amount that he stole. So Ella Amar Ravacha Bred Ravika, 6 lines in the bottom, Loi Nitzurcha. Ella Likoivesh Eschar Sachir. Talking about a unique case, someone who doesn't pay. He holds back. He's koivesh the wages of a worker. Kusi bekusi bekusi Yisrael aser v'Yisrael bekusi motor. Ki yaitze b'yat v'fastayr mahi. What's the case? Ki aser avdim yamar avalazar amar Chanina ben Noyach sheyached shivcha lavda. He designated as a maidservant to serve him. Uba'aleh neragoleh. So says Rabban the Brisa that what? Ba'aleh, excuse me. What's the case? Again, then he's together with her. He's going to be killed. Similarly, we learned in the Brisa because we don't have such cases. Rav Yeina son ben Shalai mer harayiv achar ve'erlar gav yachol atzila v'chamei varim. You could steal, you could save, excuse me, the person by putting out one of his critical limbs without actually killing them. So says the Gemara in the top line of Zayin Amid Beis, Nerag Alav, he could be killed for this. Ashkechan Rav Yaakov Arachod, the Viksiv Sefer Agadatza, new story. Agadatza Dvei Rav and Noyach Nerag, B'dayon Echad Ubeid Echad, Shlei B'asra, Mimnei Ish, Lo Mimnei Ish, Avavilu Karoiv, Mishom Rav Yishmael Omer Yadzon, Avaloiv Remina Nimili. So Amar Rav Yehuda Damar Kra, Ach Es Zemeichan and Asher Seicham Edroish, Afilu B'dayon Echad. Miyad kol chaya afilu shaloi b'hasra edra shenu. Even without the asra, you'll be able to daven. Umiyad adam afilu be'ida echad, and right away, even an adam with an edach. Miyad ish v'loy miyad isha echav afilu karayv echav afilu karayv. Mishum Rabbi Yishmael. In the name of Rabbi Yishmael, Avali Bure, and even pregnant. My time, Rabbi Yishmael, what's the reason? Whatever dam the person has, if it's a pregnancy, then it's another child. If not, dam ba'adam. And then he can find out what's going on. Vitani Kama says, Tanavir Rinashe, who damar called me Zamur about Tairam. Livnei Noyach, Einoi Elo Chanek, only strangulation. V'shadai le Hai ba'adam ha'seifa. It says the Gemara, we make this Adam b'seifa. 1 second, let's find the place. The Kra, the pasuk says, the Kra, excuse me. The pasuk says, Sefer Dikra Udraish Bei, and learn about it. Hachi as follows: Ba'adam dama yishafech, his blood shall be shed. Ezeu shichas damin shel adam shu begufa shel adam ayomer. What type of punishment is that? That is only chanek. That is the only thing that is really left. So continues the Gemara. Masiv Rav Hamnuna. The Isha Leimefgada, a woman cannot take part in the court system. Ask the Gemara why. But the pasuk says, and we're actually referring to right now, Ashar. Says the Gemara, v'haksiv, excuse me, not v'ashar, v'isha. Well, let's read this properly. Matzram Nuna v'isha loy mifkada, excuse me. V'isha loy mifkeda. Is she not commanded? Answers the Gemara, Moisav u'mefarig la banav Ledin Beisai Litzdaka. Says the Gemara that Banav of Bnei Avram were for Din, Beisai, the women were Litzdaka, but the Beisai, the women, were not Ledin. They were just Tzedakah. Says the Gemara, based on what we just said, if she kills, she won't be killed right away. Why? Ish lo miyad ishak sev amar lei achi amar Rav Yehuda shevich dam adam mikol makom ima bas noyach shezinsa lo teharik dech sev akinaz ish lo isha amar lei achi amar Rav Yehuda v'hayel le'asar echad ba'adir arvinu Quran only after the pasuk misof, but it's only what was that what basar echad no longer, and we'll stop over here a little bit higher up. Tanan Rabbanan b'siyata dishmayu.